You ever dim your lights at night and instead of that smooth fade, it kind of stutters on the way down? Little flicker, maybe a faint buzz, and then it just drops out like it gave up. Most people blame the bulb. That's what I used to hear all the time. Bad LED, must be defective. But I was in a brand new house last week. Full remodel, fresh wiring, everything clean. And every single dimmer in the place was doing it. Same flicker, same buzz, same weird cutoff. That's when you realize it's not one bad part. It's the whole system. Dimmer switches used to be dead simple. The old ones, real rheostats, were basically just a chunk of metal controlling resistance. You turn the dial, lights get dimmer. No thinking, no electronics, no guessing. They ran for decades. Quiet, smooth, predictable. You could walk into a house built in the 70s, twist that knob, and it still felt right. Then we swapped the one thing those systems were built around, the bulb. Incandescent bulbs pulled steady, heavy power. They gave dimmers something consistent to work with. LEDs don't do that. They barely draw anything. And inside each bulb, there's a tiny driver trying to regulate power. So now, instead of one simple system, you've got multiple little systems trying to cooperate. And they don't always agree. That's where the flicker comes from. The dimmer is trying to reduce power one way. The LED driver is trying to correct it another way. And the result is this unstable middle ground. The buzzing? That's the electronics vibrating under load, literally struggling to stay steady. And when the light just cuts off instead of dimming lower, that's a minimum load issue. The dimmer needs more power than the LEDs are pulling, so it just shuts down. I had a homeowner swap every bulb in his house to LED to save energy. Week later, he calls me back, says the lights feel nervous. That was his word. We tried different bulbs. Some better, some worse. Swapped in a higher-end dimmer. Helped a little. But it never got back to that smooth, clean fade he remembered. Because now you've got three variables. The dimmer, the bulb, and the electronics inside the bulb. And none of them are truly standardized. That's the part nobody tells you when you're standing in the aisle staring at boxes that all say dimmable. That word doesn't mean what people think it means. It means compatible under certain conditions. It doesn't mean smooth. It doesn't mean silent. And it definitely doesn't mean reliable across different setups. To even make LEDs dimmable, manufacturers had to pack more electronics into something that used to be simple. And the cheaper the bulb, the more corners get cut. That's why some hum, some flicker, some burn out early. You're not just buying a light anymore. You're buying a tiny circuit board and hoping it plays nice with everything else. If you really want it to behave, you've got to line things up carefully. A proper LED-rated dimmer, not the cheapest one. Decent quality bulbs. Enough load on the circuit so the dimmer isn't starving. And even then, it's still not the same. It's close, but it's not that old smooth glide people remember. Because what we had before was analog. Direct. Honest. Turn the knob, lights go down. No interpretation. Now it's negotiation between components. And that low-level annoyance. The flicker, the buzz, the inconsistency. It doesn't sound like a big deal until you're living with it every night, noticing it without wanting to. That's the trade nobody really explains. Yeah, you're saving power. But you lost something that used to just work.